Finally tonight, it's that time to turn your clocks ahead 1 hour before turning in. When Congress decided to start daylight saving time this month instead of April, the aim was to save energy by taking advantage of extra light in the evening. But as we hear from NBC's Peter Alexander, the switch may have effects the lawmakers never imagined.
Just after dawn in Indianapolis, golf pro Jeff Schroeder heads straight to the tee, determined not to waste a moment of daylight.
When daylight savings came along, we started seeing more people coming out and using our facility after they got off work.
Indiana is a perfect laboratory to study the effects of daylight saving time since the state made the switch just 3 years ago. The goal, to save energy by relying less on lights and more on the sun. Environmental researcher Matthew Kotchen says, not so fast.
We found that overall, the policy actually results in an increase of electricity consumption of about 1%, contrary to the intended policy.
Electricity bills went up nearly $9 million statewide. The culprit, air conditioning.
Where it's hot, people are going to have to run their air conditioning a little harder, and in the early spring, a lot of people are going to have to run their heat a little bit more in the early morning when you make them wake up at the coldest, darkest part of the day.
Still, in 2007, Congress extended daylight saving by a month. It now begins earlier in the spring and lasts later in the fall. And this time, a federal study showed the change saved Americans close to $500 million in electric bills and almost 3 million barrels of oil. There may be social benefits too. Some researchers believe crime goes down when the sun is up, and that the sun even spurs spending, with people staying out later to shop. But there's also evidence springing forward might knock ahead our biological clock. A recent study of thousands of people in Sweden found a spike in heart attacks during the first 2 weeks after the change.
There's definitely a relationship between the lack of sleep and coronary artery disease. And it is a very interesting observation that, has been consistent over a 20-year period.
While this rite of spring is sure to spark debate, at least on the greens, there's consensus.
It's going to be daylight till, close to 9:30, so you're going to be able to get in your round of golf.
Let there be light. Peter Alexander, NBC News, New York.